Hey guys, how are ya? So, Lucha says goodbye. I had to say goodbye today to my beautiful princess cat TC, who was 20 years old, and my 18-year-old dachshund Rebel. Uh, what a morning. Neither had been doing very good as of late. Rebel had a bunch of seizures and just yeah, it was time. TC had been doing okay, but then so this picture's they gave him a sedation shot each, and TC kind of curled up to Rebel, and they just kind of laid there on the table for a little bit. It was a tough morning, tough morning. 38 years between them. Jeez, that's a long time for pets. I don't know if it makes it better or worse. I've lost animals. I had a dog named Ellie who was Rebel's best friend for 6 years. They were just bosom best buddies, and uh, yeah, oh shit, sorry, fuck, oh man, but I mean, they went out really peacefully. My vet's awesome, and I got to hang out with them. It just sucked, just really, really sucked. Came home. Sherman gave Sherman his treat, but he's been walking around the last half hour, just kind of looking for his buddy. And what are you gonna do? It was bad. Thank you guys. Heaps. Mr. G, Chloe, thank you. Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. I had made the appointment for Rebel, and then TC really took a downturn. So I had to call back and say, hey, I don't think I can do this like 2 weeks in a row. It's hard enough. And, you know, what do you do? It's funny because Dr. Ann, my vet, she barely remembered TC. It's kind of like a local vet, and because she had only really met her one time, because TC was just never sick, never had anything wrong with her. And what are you going to do? You guys can cheer me up, just talk me through it. Thanks, Diego. Oh, man. There is too much pain in the world lately. There's a lot. And I know it's better for them. I know keeping them around would have been just selfish on my part any longer because they were in really bad shape there at the end. But you miss him. But I want to think of Rebel in his great days because he was a great dog for a long time. And just 18 years for a dog. He was a standard dachshund. The Sherman, the blind one's a mini. The Rebel was like a 28-pound dachshund. He was big for a dachshund. Fast. You would think with those short legs he wouldn't be that fast, but he was. Thanks, Mr. G. I appreciate everyone. I'm just, wow. It's just tough. Just tough. I thought all my tears were done at the vets. And I come on and start talking about them, and I start crying and stuff again. It's just hard. What are you gonna do? I mean, it's time. And like I said, the thought of doing it 2 days or 2 weeks in a row or different days, it's so hard. TC, who's been an indoor cat ever since I've had her, and never really. I think one time maybe went to the vet. Was never sick. And when I opened up the carrier, she just walked right in and laid down. Rebel was a little more. He had actually a little more energy this morning, which made it even harder. If you see the clothes basket over there with the blanket in it, that's how I took him because he bites when he's he was trying to bite me. Not out of viciousness, just because he didn't know what was going on. He's been very confused since he had that last seizure. And I think he had a little bit of a stroke with it, but so he was hopping around a lot trying to get out. But so they give him the sedation shot, and they just kind of, TC went almost right to, she just walked right up to him and curled up and laid down, and then Rebel took a couple extra minutes. But I got to spend some good time with them, let them know what great animals they were, and how lucky I was to have had. Jeez, oh, Pete too in one day. I've known it was coming. I have known it was coming, and it doesn't make it any easier. You know. Oh, thanks, Elmo. I appreciate it. I'm I'm okay. Crying my eyes out like a little girl, but yeah. And I still have a dog and three cats. You know, so it's not like I'm petless or anything. But it's weird that the cats are all kind of just milling around, like they know something's up. Sherman just keeps walking around like looking for his buddy Rebel, and they just keep going. It's just so hard. These pets are our best friends and members. Yeah, they do. Oh man, so sorry to hear this. Lucha talks when you stay strong. Thanks, Otto. Appreciate it. Former OC91. Did you get your pen? I know Carolyn said she mailed them out. Hopefully you did. Excuse me, guys. I'm sobbing like a little girl today. It's so terrible. Like I said, just once they kind of relaxed after the sedation shot, and they were laying there like that, and brought back so many memories, and just you know, what do you do? Mathis, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I appreciate that, dear artifact. It's yeah, what are you gonna? I mean, it happens, and they're all. I mean, they had great lives, if you could be a pet and live in my house, you look, you're just doing pretty good. But like I said, they just, TC went downhill. I mean, she had not been nearly the same for 6 months, but the last 2 days just really went downhill. And then after that last seizure, Rebel was, he'd walk into a wall and just stand there and look at the wall. He wasn't real responsive to anything. I mean, it was cruel to keep him going, but it doesn't make it any easier for me selfishly. Had them a long time, you know, it was a long time. I'll be back home on Friday. Been out of town for 10 days. I believe the pen is there waiting for me. We'll send you pics. Absolutely. Can't wait to see it. For those who remember BW and OC91 back then, Otto won the pen. When Carolyn Martin made the Luchabetic time pens, and they won the lottery. We guessed the right number. Bruce G, thank you. Yeah, thanks everybody. I'm sorry to be a downer out of this pop dog because I was just like, fudge. Then I figure I clickbait at least Mathis by saying, hey, Lucha says goodbye. What are you gonna do? I need a laugh. It made me laugh. Sorry, Mathis. The laugh was at your expense today. But I just fudge. I mean, it's just a brutal morning. It's just a brutal morning, you know. And like I said, my vet is just kind of like an old time country vet. She's been the family vet since we moved to Pittsburgh. Since my family moved here, so she's been taking care of. She doesn't take on new clients, but she's been taking care of our family pets forever. And it's just it's hard. It's hard. Like I said, saying goodbye to our pets is sadly part of the coming to our home. It's the last gift we can give them in a way. They can't. They, they can't ask for it for themselves. We're their advocates. It's true. It's true. And hanging on. It's not like having them like it's not like they were. You know, and you come to that realization point that they're. It's time. You know, TC had disappeared for a day and a half. I thought I was searching for her. I couldn't. I still don't know where she went. She popped out of nowhere one night, but I kind of thought because I've had cats that have gone and like found a little out of the way place to just and they pass away. But uh, kind of thought maybe that's what was going on. But she came back, and but she just you know she was such a beautiful cat and just great companion for a long time. Athens, we got your back. Appreciate it. Uh, yeah, I mean, don't we? Isn't that true? If they could break the world record, I mean, and honestly, a 20-year-old cat and an 18-year-old dog is a long time. It's a long time. I was very blessed, you know, but it's just heartache, right now today. Benson's, I'm sorry for your Lucha pets are better than most humans. A lot of ways they are. Appreciate that, dear artifact. Virtual hugs accepted today. Virtual hugs accepted. Oh, jeez. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? It just. I've been prepping myself for this for a while, even though I hadn't set the appointment and stuff. But just getting ready for it, and it's like literally crying, bawling my eyes out. My vet's giving me hugs, and veterinary assistants giving me hugs, and they, especially Rebel, they knew Rebel really well. Um, and like I said, TC's just never sick, after she really never had to go to the vet. Thanks, Rufus. Appreciate it. I don't know about a great man, but my pets probably thought I was. I think I am. They get a pretty good life here at Casa de Lucha. And somebody asked me, "Oh, are you gonna get another dog?" I'm like, no, not right now. We'll visit that later. But right now, I'll hang out with Sherman and the other cats. I still have the black cats, so and they're good. But like I said, the whole colony is weirded out because two are missing and they sense it. They just don't know what happened because they weren't there. So they don't have that, you know, knowledge, but they kind of know what's going on and they're just wandering around by themselves, you know. But I don't know. It's just it was a hard morning. Hard to say goodbye. Who wants to say goodbye? I certainly do. You know, want to say hello. Hello is better. It's like when you get a new watch, and you do an unboxing or an unveiling, or just somebody sees it new and it's fresh and it's a fresh start. You know, that's what makes it. What's one of the best parts? It's the saying goodbye. It's the hard part. Dirk Diggler in the chat says, "Hi, Lucha Man. Stay strong. I had to put my Marley girl down 4 days after my daughter was born. My emotions were a wreck. Fought harder for my dog than versus when my mama passed. It's hard. It's hard when your animals go. like I said, those two, they just kind of curled up and they gave him the shots to the sedation, and they just curled up together. They've known each other forever, and they've always been friendly towards one another. I put a picture on my Instagram. You know, TC would sit there and let Rebel clean her, get the spots she couldn't get to on her back of her head, on her back. Always happy. Taipei, 521 Taipei. Fellow Pittsburgher says life is hard, unpredictable, never easy, but the community is always here for you. 27. I appreciate that. It's kind of why I popped on. I was like, I'd come home and I'd just been sitting here and lamenting everything and thinking too much. And then I'll talk, go and talk a little bit. Then I won't be crying. And then, of course, I just started crying on the stream. Horrible. At least it's just ruining my own stream, but bringing down everybody else's. But on another note, I'm waiting for news on a watch. It's weird that I haven't heard back from these people yet. Huh. They got a couple irons in the fire, watch-wise. I was kind of hoping to have an unboxing this week, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the dog toys would be tough. So I have the other pets, the cats and dog, but it's actually been weird just watching them just sort of walk. Or they know something's up there. They know that I'm not happy, and they're just sort of moping around a little bit. Finally, so I was petting Sherman and gave him a couple treats, took him outside, and he finally curled up and went to his bed. What are you gonna do? It happens, Waiting for word on a couple watches. What are you gonna? That's another thing. The waiting is the hardest part there. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm a mess today. The Lucha is a mess today. My friends thought I was insane for, I'd had the appointment for Rebel, and then I called and I was like, I need to bring TC in too. My friends are like, how can you do two at once? And I'm like, well, I don't know how I can do it separately either. So, but they were buddies. They spent. So I moved here. So Rebel came with the house because he was my parents' dog. And my dad had Parkinson's, and the house was built in 1882. It has a lot of steps. So they moved to a single living place, and Rebel came with the house. His yard's fenced in. It's a corner lot and everything. So he's been in the family for a long time, but he's been specifically my dog since 2013. Of course, TC was 6 when I adopted her. It was 2009 or 2010. So, but they've been living together since 2013 and just got along famously for a dog and a cat. Never really, never bothered one another, never messed around, cuddle up here and there. It's just, it's weird. It's hard. Life is hard sometimes. It deals you some hard stuff. Really, I know the feeling I had to lay down a lot of my animals, and that was the worst time in my life. I still remember them always. Yeah, it's hard. It's really, jeez. Yeah, I get it. And do anything for my animals watching this. Yeah, I mean, if it came down to it, then something had to be done, and they're like, look, you need to sell that watch or take care of your you sell the watch. If it came down to that, they are such members of the family. They get so close to them and so used to having them there and their little weird quirks. So I'm hope, yeah, God be with them always. Yes, always. Elma says, my worst trait is grieving for a dog that is still very much alive. 15 years, still going strong. I know it's hard. You want the best for them, but you also want to have them around. That's, you know, I think eventually you come to a point where you know what the time is, that it's time, but it's hard getting there. They mean so much to the life and to the house and you know I know a lot of people that don't have pets. The ones that live alone that don't have pets, I'm like, okay, I need something. I need something living around. Got to be able to talk to them and play with them and pet them and run around with them. They're crazy, crazy, crazy cats. Um, what are you gonna do? But I am here. Let me see if I can make. So here's what I was talking about with the. That's the two of them. Yeah, TC would lay down there at the bottom of the bed a lot of times and let Rebel just kind of lick up her back in the back of her head, behind her ears, and it was funny. That's the two of them. That's a long time ago. You can see Rebel's face is even white, barely, barely getting white. But Rebel was a good boy. He was a really good dog. And that's the way I want to remember him. Before he got all, old and white and just his big, big personality. The neighbors miss him. They've been missing him because he doesn't go out that much. When he does, he just goes, just real quick and back in. But he used to, there were neighborhood dogs that he would run up and down the fence with because the house is on a corner. It's all fenced in, so they would just let their dogs run up and down the fence with him, tire him out, bro. I was shocked at how fast he was, how much bark he had. But my big floppy eared goofball. I love that dog. Miss him already. Hard. It's hard, I say. Look at that guy. He's so cute. That little white patch of fur on his stomach. And that is just a red dachshund. You can see there he is with Sherman. You can see how much, this is probably about a year ago, how white his face is, how old he is there comparatively. Walking through the yard. He loved the yard. There's him and Shermy. That was Ellie on the left. Ellie passed away years ago. Ellie only lived to be about 6.5. He was a puppy mill rescue and horrible asthma and breathing problems. Always changing her medications and stuff. Had a vet appointment for her and I couldn't find her. Found her in a spare bedroom. She'd passed away. And but Rebel was really sad because those two were just best buds. Just best buds. He liked Sherman, but he didn't love Sherman the way he loved Ellie. Thank you, thank you. He's a beautiful, beautiful boy. He was a good boy. He had a rough beginning to his life before my parents rescued him. He's been on the streets. He had a broken leg that had never been set. But was ended up being okay. He had been a dog catcher in West Virginia. He was supposed to be put down. Somebody from the rescue stole him. A friend of my mom's, when I say attorney, my mom worked with, uh, let her know about him. They went down and adopted him. Or really didn't adopt him because they weren't allowed to adopt him. He was supposed to be put down. And it was a rough start for him. Then he just had the best life, you know? He had a fenced in yard, a big house, and other animals and people to love him. You know, he loved the neighborhood and the neighbors. He'd bark at everyone, but he sounded when he barked. He was one of those dachshunds that sounded like a big dog. He was big for a dachshund. I lost 4 dogs and 2 cats. I adopted 2 more cats about a year ago. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you can go and adopt other ones and stuff, but it's just difficult. But he says all of my dogs and my cats are in my house beside my nightstand. Nice. Mm, it's the way to do it. I'm just, yeah, I know I was blessed to have them as long as I did. And it was, you know, it was an honor to have been able to have them for as long as I did and to take care of them. I was blessed by their presence, but it doesn't make it any easier when they're gone. They're just, it's home. You get like, what do you do? How do you move on from that? Um, it's a difficult thing. It really is. But, um, so, guys, is there anything else? Anybody got any words of wisdom? Cheer me up, anything like that? Stephen Monash, good to see you. Thank you, sir. Um, I appreciate that. That was Rebel. This was TC the cat. I have a lot more pictures. I just threw a couple up here the other day. When I discovered that my cat was actually the Batman. Uh, she was a pretty little girl. Yeah, it's a good little kitty. To sleep in the bed. Make little pillow forts. She would make pillow forts. She was a great cat. Had her a long time. She's a good girl. He was a good boy. Yeah, I already miss him so much. You know? Otto says you should engrave the name or a photo on the back of one of your watches. That could be cool. Yeah, that could be a way to celebrate them. You know, it was so cute the way they curled up and just and then when Dr. Ann came back in and gave them the final shots and checked their vitals and stuff. But I was glad I was able to be there for them. Especially Rebel because Rebel was a dog that because he had such a rough start. I would tell Rebel every day that he was a good dog. You know, I always tell him, I said, Rebel, you're a good dog. Because I think in the beginning of his life, he wasn't treated like he was a good dog. So, in many years of being told he was a good dog, and TC was my little princess, and sort of like Sherman, my blind dog. I tell him every day, I'm like, you are so freaking cute, and you have no idea how cute you are. You can't even see yourself in a reflection or in a mirror. Just, yeah, I think there are too. And I've had a lot of pets. I think this was particularly hard because these two lived so long, and to have to do it together, I think it made it different. I've gone through this before, obviously, with all the dogs and cats I've had over the years, but it was kind of odd to have two that were so old and that were so that had just really hit the wall together, hit the end together. But they didn't go alone. I was with them, and they were with each other. So you know, um, it was good in that way for them and for me, I guess. I'm going to be upset for a while, obviously. Like I said, somebody asked me about, well, you should get another dog. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I would be so resentful of that dog right now. It's hard enough with Sherman. I love Sherman to death. Sherman's a big, loving creature, sitting down and laying down in his bed right now. He figured out there was nothing he could do, so he just kind of went to bed. But he seems sort of sad too. Yeah. But it happened. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by and helping to cheer me up. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Take my mind off the dog. I don't know. We can look at it from that way too. That's the point. It doesn't have to be all about the lucha. It can be about other things. It's there's other stuff. Like I said, I don't want to show you the stuff that I'm waiting on because I'd like to do, unboxing, unveiling, whatever. I don't think I'm taking them out of the box when I do it. I think I'm just do. We'll call it unveiling whenever stuff gets all worked out. Johnny O, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. It was hard. It was brutal having two at once. I mean that's the hard part of it. It was just damn. But man, what lives they had. I mean, talk about two pets that they didn't never had really much wrong health wise. But DC really nothing. Rebel occasional, Rebel used to like to he would find bees and he would try and eat the bees. He gets stung 5 or 6 times a year. Um, because he was always chasing the bees around. Couldn't help himself. And but they had really good lives. They miss them so much already. So much already. What do you do? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Cry on stream. That's that's what I did. I cried at the vet's office. I cried on stream and cried everywhere. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by. I will go for a couple more minutes. I just venting it out a little bit, just talk it out a little bit. I appreciate everybody's kind words and for helping out. A lucha in distress, man. Who would have thought? I knew it was coming for a while. Does not make it any easier, It does not make it any easier to get any of this stuff going. Looks like maybe there's a colony firing up. I don't see anybody over there running it, but it could be somewhere for you guys to go if you need some watch content. Obviously, I appreciate everybody for their kind words. Thanks, Mo. Appreciate that. Keep the sympathies for me and the misses. Yeah, it was a rough morning. A rough morning. People at work were like, I've been all morning getting texts, but they were just like, no one could believe that I was going to do two at once. But the logic was it was time for both. And the thought of doing it, like maybe like 2 weeks in a row or once, and then 2 weeks later. I mean, because TC had really, since the disappearance and coming back, it really just, I don't know what happened, but it was, yeah, she's 20 years old. 20-year-old cat, 18-year-old dog. It was, keeping them around would have been just for me, not for them. You know. Um, those, kind of curled up together like buddies, like they always were. It's hard, but it was necessary. They were great pets. And they had a great life. They really had a great life. It's hard. Being a pet in the Casa de Lucha is not a bad thing. You know, it just agonizing when the end comes. Like Diego said, we know the contract we signed. We know that it's gonna be a thing. But it just what are you gonna do? It just happens at unexpected. You hate it. Nobody wants it. Nobody asks for it. But we do ask for their love and affection. You know. So I appreciate everybody for coming by. I know it's not the happiest of streams, but like I said, it looks like maybe there's a colony firing up. You should head over there and talk about some watches. But no, I appreciate all your kind words, and it's so, oof, it's just a bad morning. A bad morning. I'm gonna go see if I can get Sherman out of bed and hang out with him for a little bit longer. We'll be doting on my little blind guy a little more than usual. Not that he doesn't get a lot anyway. But take care, 521. Take care, everyone. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. I appreciate your support. I'm sorry for the crappy little depressing live stream, but it just was one morning. Thank you, Dodger. I don't know if about a more wonderful man, but I try to be a pretty good pet dad anyway. And like I said, 38 years between them. 18 for Rebel the dog and 20 for TC the cat. They had great lives. They enriched my life greatly. I tried to give them everything and a good home. And it was just time, and it's hard to say goodbye. Even though he said I'm going to go downstairs and I'll grab Sherman and hang out with him for a little bit. Well, if he's out of bed, he's kind of depressed. He's just sleeping too. The cats are all just sort of wandering around. I still have a dog and 3 cats left here, but the cats are probably, well, the brother and sister, they've got to be 9 or 10 now. And then Oliver is like 6. Sherman, the blind double dapple doxy, is almost 7. He's almost 7, I think. They've had maybe he's 8. Oh man, I gotta look the date. I gotta look up his dates. But they're good. They're good dogs and cats, and there'll be others, I'm sure, in the future. But right now, I'm gonna hang out with the 4 I got. We'll get over this, and fortunately, I have them to help take my mind off it. I appreciate everyone here for your kind words and encouragement. But bad morning, man. Bad morning. Just a bad morning. So I'm gonna play a video of something else I missed, which is my JLC Polaris, which is still getting serviced. getting a new clasp, and having the movement completely redone because the clasp was really sticky on the one pusher. It's under warranty. I'm like, well, I'm going to send it in. And then, so I was sending in, I also mentioned that it seemed to be running a little bit slow, not horribly slow, but maybe 10 to 15 seconds a day slow, which is not in their specs. So they're tearing down the entire movement, putting a new clasp on. It's probably still a few more weeks before I get it back because I think the estimate was like 8 to 13 weeks, I think is what they said, depending on parts availability and whatever. But I kind of missed the watch, so we'll play a little video of that. And then we'll Lucha our way on here. And like I said, I believe there's a colony on. So we'll go head over there and get some watch time. Hey, remember, say something nice to someone. Do something nice for someone. Be the light you would like to see shining through others. That's how we make positive change. And thank you guys so much for listening to me babble about my pets in my morning and helping to take my mind off a little bit, give me a little chuckle here and there, and the encouragement, the thoughts, and everything. I do appreciate it. Head on over to the colony, see what's happening over there. I'm going to head over there for a few minutes, see what's going on. And obviously, we'll see you Sunday.